And let me click the live button right now. And we are live, guys. So welcome, guys, back to another live stream episode here on Boxmining, where we take a look at what's happening on the cryptocurrency markets. Not so great today, but we're gonna survive for that. So I think I almost jinxed this morning. I was saying, yeah, you know what, Bloody Mondays were a thing, right? And today's not dipping. Well, it turns out that for the other half of the world, because I'm in Asia, the other half of the world hasn't woken up yet. So I kind of jinxed it for us. So even though in Asian markets we didn't have a massive dump, now as America is waking up, there was quite a big dump this morning. So I bet a lot of people are probably freaking out. But that's a crypto life. And in many ways, this video, this live stream is just designed to be super chill. You probably see it's a different camera angle. I was actually getting ready for bed, but I said to myself, you know what? Let's have a hangout session. Let's see what people are feeling. I definitely there's an ulterior motive here, if you guys can sense it, which is that I really want to see what everyone else is thinking too, because I've been in space for a long time. Crashes like this, or mini crashes, mini dips like this, we're desensitized to that, right? So we kind of see how the market's moving down. In fact, I saw Ethereum almost touching 1,500. We got Bitcoin almost touching $50,000 today. So some people were going to get phased out. So I really want to see what you guys are thinking. Alex Johnson says, when you dip, we dip, you dip. That's a hell of a crazy phrase. And, we got phrases coming from Noel saying diamond hands, and Robert Desmond Warner saying I'm feeling normal. I think this is kind of a good time to discuss everything with you guys. I feel like, being in crypto, I've survived 10% dips. I've survived 50% dips. This is nothing, but I definitely want to feel what you guys are thinking. If you guys are concerned, it's always a concern of mine if people, during dips like this, when people call the suicide hotline, or if they go really extreme. So I just kind of wanted to kind of gauge where everyone is. And exactly the point Jimmy Zaba says, haha, yesterday you were saying to miss the Monday sell. Yep, it turns out that I definitely jinxed it. But this is how crypto is, right? Someone was saying, bro, teach me how to trade. There's not a financial advice channel, but being in the crypto space for such a long time, right? You're gonna suffer big downs. That's something we survived through before, right? 2018 was not an easy year for me, right? I saw a lot of my assets go down 80% in value, right? Ethereum reached a peak of 1,500 back then, and then it plummeted all the way down to 200, then it hit 100 in 2019, 2020 that time. It was rough, right? It was rough. It was not easy. But seeing crypto back at these times, obviously, that puts a lot of things back into perspective. And in many ways, during the bear market, I was saying to myself, I was ready to hodl for 10 years, right? That's how insane it was, because it takes a certain amount of determination to go through, right? I was like, you know what? I'm ready to hodl. And I doubt a lot of people coming into this market are ready to hodl for that long period of time. Why I say 10 years is because sometimes in the traditional markets, it takes 10 years before something really does recover, right? In crypto, we have it accelerated, which is great. I mean, I think in the past 3 years, we're back, it's pretty apparent that we're back. But a lot of people during 2018, 2019, they just died out, right? And I feel like this is something that, it's something that you have to be ready for in crypto, like these enormous dips, especially because a lot of times you don't know why it is. And that's kind of this explanation. Everyone will find a reason for why it is. And, it's mainstream media tactics where they pinpoint a reason. This is exactly the reason why. Sometimes it's just people de-risking, right? And it could be a large large institution just de-risking, causing a chain of liquidations as well. And I think this is very apparent for Ethereum as well. If you actually look at the chart for Ethereum just now, I think this probably spooked a lot of people out, right? It's good that we didn't. It doesn't look red, but let me switch to another viewpoint. Let's switch to a 30 minutes. All right, so now this becomes a little bit more clear. So you can see this big giant red candle going all the way down, right? All the way down to here to 1500 for Ethereum. That must have spooked a lot of people out, right? Like it's like, whoa, what is that, right? And this really does happen sometimes in crypto, where you have one wick that is just crazy, like billions of dollars being liquidated in a snap of a finger. And that's because some people, like traders, take on leverage positions, right? And if you're in a leverage position on a cryptocurrency exchange, if you run out of capital, if you are facing like down like 100%, the exchange will just liquidate your position immediately, which will cause a cascading effect, which is something that we do see very often. So we do see these Bart Simpson patterns or the reverse Bart Simpson patterns very, very often. And this is completely kind of normal in crypto, but it also has drastic consequences too. Obviously, people during that half an hour period will freak the hell out. But also because the price actually does dip, it also causes liquidations on people who are not prepared for it. This is quite a key part to remember. Imagine someone who on the same day, right? So if you're on the same day, you take a position up here. Let's say you take a position at 1,886. If it falls down to 1,600, right? Let's do 1,600 divided by 1,886. That's a substantial almost 16%, 15% dip, right? If you're facing a 15% dip, right, that's gonna cause some people to freak out. And also if they're on a leverage position, right, if like they're on a 5x leverage, you'll almost be facing liquidation. In fact, if you're on a 3x leverage, your position would be liquidated, right? This is why yet again, leverage trading has a huge amount of drawbacks, right? Because there's some people who don't have that much money on their accounts, and if they're leveraged 3x, they want to make those 3 times gains, right? If they feel 3x gains, that's the way to go for it. Boom, obliterated. So this does happen in crypto, and it's quite. It is quite devastating for some people who don't have the mental conditioning for it. I know, of course, obviously there are other traders who are very, very professional, who set up sub accounts. So even if their sub accounts get liquidated, it feels fine. But I think newer traders coming into the space, they don't understand, especially if you just watch 1 or 2 YouTube videos. I know, I kind of was discussing this with a lot of people today, and there's a specific reason why I'm not promoting Bybit, right? Like there's a certain exchange that a lot of YouTubers talk about, Bybit, and Bybit has leverage trading. And unfortunately, a lot of people who use it, they watch 2 or 3 YouTube videos and they use it, and this is a very powerful tool. They don't have the necessary knowledge to deal with such a powerful tool. So in many senses, like, why this is like this type of leverage, especially because crypto exchanges allow 100% leverage, right? That means if something goes down by 1%, that's done, right? Or if it goes up by 1%, that's great. You double your money. Or what goes down 1%, you lose all your money. That feels awfully like gambling, and it is, right? So there are certain times when these tools are very useful. There are certain times when these tools are completely detrimental to some people, and some people are looking for that gambling high. And that's definitely something that we like. For me, right? That's not for me, right? That's definitely not what I'm here for. If you want to turn this into a big giant casino, it could work, but it could also fail drastically and fall on your face. And unfortunately, the problem with YouTube is that a lot of people, they don't tell you the risk, because if they have affiliate codes or something for that, they make more money if you trade more, right? That's the way affiliate codes work. And there's a lot of tutorials on leverage trading, and that's something I've avoided on this channel for a long time. That being said, of course, I do have affiliate links for Bybit and Binance, so I'm not I'm not saying these, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, oh, look, I don't promote them at all. I do have promotions for exchanges. And that's because I feel like if you're going to use them responsibly. And I don't feel like it's necessary to teach people how to go total apeshit on this. But anyways, Mark Carter says, don't use leverage. It's a good guide. Like I honestly think it's a good guide. And for the longest time, I felt this was the right approach. But recently, I've been learning a lot more about how leverage can be used successfully to kind of hedge certain positions. So like I said, it's a very powerful tool. I think a lot of people misuse the tool, but the tool by itself is not broken, if you feel like what I mean. But anyways, you're so Uno gambler, and there's a lot of that stuff in crypto. Anyways, let's go on to just take a quick look at the markets. We'll answer some Q&A. I'll definitely love to have a chat with you guys. I don't have too much news prepared. If you guys are interested in the news and what happened in the past kind of week, I do have a live stream up this morning, and we cover a lot of the news there. So that's not going to be like the coverage, the news coverage today. We'll look at some comments. We'll look at some fun stuff. Why not? And we'll see that. So yeah. So let's just take a quick look at the market. We got some questions about alchemix and everything. Yeah, why not? Let's talk about that soon as well. So that's let's take a look. So Bitcoin, yep, it's down. So in the past 24 hours, we have Bitcoin moving down 6.7%. Ethereum, we're down 11%. Yes, it's double digits, but I think the spooky part of the dip was this one, where ETH actually dropped to 1,500. So for me personally, I was actually eating lunch at this time. I was like, whoa, that's kind of surprising. I had to like reload and double check my screen there. I was like, like it was a little bit surprising, but not the end of the world. Obviously, we're still very much alive here. I have a problem switching between my cameras, but anyways, it's fine. That's kind of what happened, and now we're kind of slowly recovering up again. There were definitely a lot of sales and a lot of liquidations at this time. So this happened on Ethereum. On Bitcoin front, it was kind of interesting because Bitcoin, how we drew kind of these bars here. So this is where I would categorize the support. And this is exactly where the support kind of showed itself. So we definitely saw some strong support fighting back those bears. The bears were dumping in the market. They were taking the prices down below 50,000. They took it below 50,000. They hit the support here, and then the bulls said, okay, you know what, let's move the market back up a little bit. That doesn't look right. So that's kind of the situation we're at. And I do want to note as well, yet again, these bars are actually holding up pretty well. So I'm going to kind of discount how low it dropped, because I would definitely say this is part of the liquidation, but we definitely see that support coming back in at around 1680. So that's actually really good. I'm actually really glad that we saw that support picking up. Ooh, that's my lights are breaking. That's very strange. Do you guys see that? Do you guys notice it was a flashing light up there? Okay, yeah, you guys probably won't see it because I wasn't showing that, but yeah, up there the lights were a little bit weird. But anyways, distractions aside here, we definitely have the markets showing that strong support, which is something that I was definitely looking for, right? Because in a market, when a market just goes up, it gets very, very irrational sometimes. I definitely see that happening, where if number only goes up, people have delusions of grandeur, right? They feel like they're the best investors in the world, right? They probably took a 10x or a 5x, especially if you're in BNB, or someone was talking about ZKSwap earlier. You take these like 10, 20x's, you feel invincible, right? Because it will change your life, right? Let's imagine you put $1,000 or something into ZKSwap, and if it does a 20x, that's $20,000, right? It suddenly turns into something very, very substantial. And we did see that in a lot of coins in this past few months, right? If you actually kind of just follow it, like at the risk of sounding cocky and arrogant, there were quite a few, like even like TrustSwap was doing super well. We got Swissborg did super well. Yeah, we got like Enjin, we got Polkastarter. If people were in that was insane. That ride was crazy. Like those gains were sick, right? Beyond sick. So yeah, like it's very tempting for someone, and especially the crypto community, to feel very feel that delusion of grandeur, to feel like the money came so quick that they're just ecstatic and elated, right? And we definitely see some signs of that too. This morning we're talking about in the news articles, we saw these huge sales for NFTs, right? These non-fungible tokens, these pieces of art. It literally just looks like a very common GIF, right? Like a very, very simple to make GIF. I mean, I'm sure Nyan Cat. I like Nyan Cat, right? That's kind of cute. Let me see if I can put a picture of Nyan Cat NFT. Nyan Cat NFT. Oop, my keyboard's not working. Okay. NFT. Right, this one sold for 300 ETH, not 600. All right, 300 ETH. So let me just bring up the news for you guys very quickly. Let's see that. Yeah, so Nyan Cat sells for 300 Ethereum, which at the time was $590,000. I mean, for this gift, I mean, I liked gifts, right? I like images, but at the same time, I don't really feel like this is the proper valuation for something like that. So, um, yeah, so I felt like there was definitely some people who were recklessly spending money. I think it's good that they're recklessly spending money. I think it's good because that means money gets circulated in the system. I felt like, before I would say, oh my God, these guys are spending money recklessly, I should try to, that doesn't make any sense. This should be wrong. But it's a good thing for the market because the more people spend and they're willing to encourage artists to come on these platforms, is great. I'm happy for them. But at the same time, come on, 300 E for that? Come on, right? So yeah, you definitely saw that in the market where people were making way too much money, making some reckless purchases. Why not, right? But I feel like having some of a little bit of a retreat like this is super, super good for the market. So yet again, yeah, dropping 10%, 12%, that's a healthy dip right there. It's not nice. I mean, a lot of people obviously we're definitely talking about that in the Box Nation Telegram today, group today, and it's not nice for a lot of people, right? Especially to see the portfolios drop such large numbers, but that's life, right? That's I actually feel like it's good for market. For me, it's very important to actually know where the support is and how strong that support is, right? So the market kicking back Bitcoin to around $53,000, that's great. And Ethereum rejecting off 1500, moving back up. That's always a great sign. That's always a good sign. So I'm pretty happy that this happened overall. So I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking. Bishobo Baggins says, if money is going to artists, then yes, it is a redistribution of wealth. That's great. And I think that's important, right? I mean, you definitely know that a lot of billionaires in this world, they're very stingy as hell, right? And yeah, you should have that money being distributed behind everything. Shortest, easy short, money short on Bitcoin. Ha 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 ha. Oh. Our Bear Frog says, Box, can you give me a shout? I've been with you since the first Ant Shares conference. My God, that's been great. That's a long time, man. That's a long time, Bear. So I'm glad you stayed with me. I'm glad you stayed with me. It's been a long time, man. I think definitely this whole scene evolved a lot. Hopefully I grew a lot in the space as well. Hopefully I'm not as cringy as before. I still remember myself making videos all the way back then, and it's pretty bad. Joey for Kuchi. I hope I don't mispronounce your name. He says, I bought the dip. Nice, congrats. So unfortunately, I didn't actually get to buy the dip. Unfortunately, I actually had capital set aside to buy the dip, but I definitely missed out 1,500 on BIP on Ethereum. I'm a little bit salty on that. Cryptogram says, tea, this is fancy. Actually, it's just water today. I don't think I can show you guys. Yeah, I can still show you. It's just water today. It's nighttime over here. It's almost midnight. It is past midnight right now. It's actually 12:15 over here. So I'm getting ready to sleep, guys. I'm getting ready to sleep. STEM to STEM MS says, what are some real world uses for NFTs? I think that's a really good question. So There are times when I feel like NFT is a technology finding a problem. All right. And this is what I kind of thought of before. So I just want to put that out there at this current point. And there's a certain truth to that. But I think there are a few ways that we can look at this. One is to include something that comes with art. I've also seen the other business use, which is really popping up, which is for wrapping certain insurance contracts. So that's been going on in the decentralized finance space for a while, where you can wrap a certain contract that's done their KYC or get done expires at a certain date within a certain NFT and have an auction for that. And the power of NFTs is that it's very auctionable and tradable. So these are kind of some functionalities. Definitely one of the biggest applications is in video games. I think that's very abundantly clear. Video games, you can definitely see items in games, and being able to kind of trade these items in a very secure fashion is super important. But it takes time to adopt. And I feel like that's one of the big buts I have to throw in there, because I feel like there's so many people that talk about NFTs that don't know what they're talking about and don't understand how gaming industry actually works. For gamers to understand NFTs, it'll take a while, which is why we haven't seen a mainstream game like a Final Fantasy or a Halo or a League of Legends using NFT skins, but we have seen smaller games do so, and I feel like this is kind of where the trend is going. Um, Messy Kings is holding it until mass adoption. This is kind of, it's also interesting talking about mass adoption too. I think I'm rambling a bit, but I feel like this is kind of a cool discussion for us to have, because in theory, a lot of people were looking for mass adoption of crypto back in 2017, and the timescale for real mass adoption of crypto, I would say, would be in 20 years, right? That's a long time. I think we're very far away from it, and you can definitely see a few people try to push for mass adoption. I think, like, Roger Ver, I don't know how it's the proper way to pronounce his name, but he was very, very keen on just pushing Bitcoin acceptance everywhere. But Bitcoin network couldn't really take that number of transactions per second, and we met some hurdles. And on top of that, a lot of people, if you want to buy pizza, right? If you want to buy pizza and you want to pay with Bitcoin, I did try to do this. I was traveling in LA, and I saw this pizza restaurant, this pizza joint it was very, very near Marina Del Rey. I forgot which pizza shop it was, but they were like, "Oh, we accept Bitcoin." I was like, cool, I have to use Bitcoin, right? That's a must. So we try to film a segment of me spending Bitcoin to buy a pizza. And it took a while because they only accepted using BitPay. And BitPay, you have to load up a separate account. So I had to, first of all, I didn't have a BitPay account, so I had to make an account. Then I had to transfer Bitcoin to that BitPay account. But let's just say this, right? The pizza was done by the time I figured out how to do that payment. So it's not the cleanest for everyone. This is why I feel like projects like Utrust can also take it to the next level. I kind of hate BitPay with a vengeance. So Utrust, they allows you to take multiple different cryptocurrencies. I know also Coinbase does this now. I know there's a lot of other services that allow the payment using cryptocurrencies. So I feel like that technology is going to take a while. The adoption is going to take an even longer while. But what we're seeing right now, say in the field of decentralized finance, right, where you can create an automated market making exchange like Uniswap, trade assets, just snap a finger like that. And even something even more amazing is that you don't even need a market maker on Uniswap, right? So traditionally, if you want to have an asset and you want it to be very well traded, you need to hire a market maker. This is done very much in Wall Street. This is done in crypto as well. The market maker kind of just like, they both buy and sell, right? So if there's a buy order, they'll put up buy orders, they'll put up sell orders. And when you buy, they kind of like, they execute the position, and then they also sell on the other side, and they'll kind of make that little difference between the buy and the sell orders. That's how the way they function. But the whole point of a market maker is to close it up, right? No one wants to buy, say, Bitcoin at 100,000 and then sell Bitcoin at 25,000, right? Like if the gap is huge, it doesn't make any sense, right? But that's kind of what the role of the market maker is, to close that gap. But the crazy thing about like Uniswap is you don't even need to hire a firm, you can get the crowd to do that, right? You have these things like liquidity pools, right, where people inject money, say, into a Ethereum USD pair, and automatically these buy and sell orders get set up for you. I think this is super crazy. This is super insane. It's mind blowing, right? I mean, you guys probably use PancakeSwap on Binance Smart Chain, and you see that going on. Then you see how capital is being distributed right now. You can see the cream of the Iron Bank when with these yield farming like YFI. I think this is where like this year this year and last year I took a deep stab at decentralized finance. I mean, I know everyone's talking about this big word, DeFi, right? DeFi is so hot right now. But early 2020, it wasn't very hot, right? But I was able to see it very early. I made a few plays in decentralized finance that really took off. And once you use it, right? Once you actually use it, it is solid. But right now, of course, there's still a lot of fluff because a lot of people probably haven't used DeFi yet. So at this point, I would encourage people, if you haven't checked out some stuff, definitely go check out some stuff on decentralized finance. I think it's super, super cool. If you guys have anything cool projects to tell me about, it's going to be smart. We got thoughts on SuperFarm. So SuperFarm is super cool. I think LEO Trades did a super good job on that. Let me just check their launch. I didn't know they were launching. I totally forgot they were launching today. SuperFarm. It's like one of the hottest projects right now. So SuperFarm allows you, I think they set up this pretty well as well. So SuperFarm allows you to deploy DeFi and NFT contracts without any code. It's going to be like farming for dummies, right? It allows you to launch projects. So that's been launching today. Let me actually see how it's going. It launched actually 20 minutes ago. Ooh, that's pretty hot. CoinGecko's up as well. I think the delivery on this was pretty excellent, actually, in terms of execution. Holy crap. Congrats on the launch. It is 1 billion supply, so it's worth the full market cap is around $2.6 billion right now, but it is traded very heavily. Obviously, the TrustSwap tokens being locked up, but I just kind of found that kind of funny here. Okay. So that aside, of course, LEO has been doing some super good stuff on that with being able to deploy cross-chain farms, to also deploy NFT farms without any code. So that's coming up very, very soon. And yes, if people were wondering if I did invest in this project, yes, I did. I had the opportunity to invest with Genesis Block Ventures, which is great for me. Always being in projects and always being able to kind of be there, which is great. Cryptogram says Ape live on live stream. So a few people probably wondering why I was a little bit late to this stream. That's because I did. There was a farming project that was popping up. I won't show it here because yet again, it's a situation where I haven't validated code. I'm not very comfortable talking about it very publicly. But everyone was like, yo, this is the hottest thing. So you know what? I'm going to just like click a few buttons and see how it goes, sort of thing. So yeah. And this is kind of the hard part about crypto too, right? I think the people who know me quite well, they know that I also ape into projects quite early on. Yeah, that's kind of me, right? That's kind of very me, sort of thing. So you have both sides. Like for me, because I manage, I kind of sector out my portfolio in such a way that it's like some of it's are long-term hodls, there's medium hodls, there's kind of these kind of ape projects over there where you kind of just jump in and kind of ask questions later, sort of thing. And yeah, it's a combination of being balancing kind of 3 different personality types. So yeah, absolutely, you can accuse me of having 3 different personalities, and that's absolutely right. There is definitely DJ Michael somewhere, but definitely I don't feel comfortable talking about it publicly because I think, if you're degenerate, there are times when you lose, right? And I do know some degenerates say lose very, very large sums of money, and I did lose a lot too. When I was degenerate farming at the start and I didn't understand how farming and impermanent loss worked, I mean, you get burned very quickly. So yeah, yet again, I'll talk about it more if you guys want, but yet again, I'm holding myself back a little bit. There we go. And Angela Wen says, hit the like for box mining trading secrets. Absolutely. Some question. Someone said it's Rogel says, do you think SuperFan is going to go up a lot right now because of the hype, or do you think we should wait for it? This is actually where DCA does come in. Like if you don't have a position, the way I've always looked at it is like, how much exposure do I want, right? I think a lot of people would just buy it for the hype, but almost never works out well for people. That's kind of, it's weird that it happens, but like every bear market, we see the people who are the loudest are the people who screwed up by not managing their risk properly, right? This is why, yet again, find a financial consultant, whatever, be rational. And being rational works a lot. So the kind of the non-degen Michael comes kind of hops in. I'm like, oh, like just be careful and think about how much exposure. Like I've been thinking about things in terms of exposure. So right now, yes, I do have quite a bit of exposure to SuperFarm. I definitely think okay, in terms of the execution of SuperFarm, right? Something that I did say that was pretty good was the way that they managed to bring a lot of people into it. Especially I'm not sure that I'm supposed to disclose stuff, but there's stuff that, they got some really cool people hopping in. I'm like, what? Really? That person is in? Yeah, that's pretty cool. So hopefully they can do something with it. Obviously it doesn't, the website and stuff, it's not gonna look at the best right now, right? It's it's not launched yet, so it's right now, it's the white paper still, right? But the ability of what they're trying to do is kind of super crazy, right? And definitely the interest in NFTs is the correct play right now. I think that's 100% what's happening. So if you do want to find out a little bit more about what's happening in SuperFarm, I definitely recommend their Telegram group, and their Twitter is where you want to go for a long-term view. But at a certain time, like, yeah, that's my honest opinion. I feel like there was some stuff that they were talking about which is super good. Like the amount of stuff that they spent a long time building this too. Like in terms of I had a talk with Elio on this, and they spent a long ass time doing this. So I'm glad that this is working out. I'm glad that the execution is just right timing, especially for the NFT play. And this is something that kind of really matters too, right? Timing is super important in crypto. Like I think right now that NFT wave is coming in. I think it's still in its infancy, it's still in its beta, but you can definitely see some of that value coming in. And I think, I'm being convinced, right? You know how I was very early into the NFT scene, and in many senses too early, right? If you think about the projects that I exposed myself to very early on, both Enjin and Wax, they have a lot going for them. But they're a little bit too early as well. And the hype for NFT just wasn't as hot back then. But because they built until now, it's great that they suddenly have the time to shine, right? Both Wax and Enjin are doing super well right now. But you kind of see that this time people are taking a serious stab at it, and I definitely think that's very cool. Dip, is time to bag more. I think so. I think there was definitely a lot of PTSD down during 2018, and I think this could flare up PTSD for some people, but but I definitely feel like our channel, I'm actually really happy. So how earlier on in this chat I asked you guys, if you guys are freaking out, because like you read cryptocurrency, r/cryptocurrency, and there's some serious damage control being done here, right? This is support. Stop calling this a dip. Bloody Monday, or whatever negative word you can find, is normal volatility in a parabolic move upwards. You definitely see that bloody money, calm tips, don't panic, it's okay. You definitely see that fear, right? You definitely see that fear. And I think this is a cool article too, but I'll read that in a sec with you guys. But definitely something I really appreciate with our community here is that we're very, very solid. We're rock solid. I don't think, like I've been reading chat up here for the past, ever since it started, and you guys are strong. Respect for that. Respect for being so strong in a time like this. I think, maybe maybe I underestimated this, right? I think you guys are much stronger, and this community is much stronger than we thought it would be. So congrats to us, I think. Mm, Mike's World. Are you invested in blockchain domains? So I do have 2 domains. So I have both boxmining.eth. This one actually cost me 5 ETH at a time. 30. It was $30 back then, right? But think about 5 ETH now, right? That would be like, upwards of maybe $8,000 right now, right? But so yeah, so I have boxmining.eth. That was bid during the Ethereum bid thing. I actually try to play around with that. I also have boxmining.crypto. So thanks to the Unstoppable domain guys for reserving that for me, so someone doesn't cap my username. So I think that's kind of cool. 2 things, right? So if you use that for sending, I think .eth is going to become popular to send people cryptocurrencies. So boxmining.eth does link to my own cryptocurrency wallet, which is pretty much the one right here. If I actually open my MetaMask up, I get boxmining.eth, and that loads to my wallet. But the other one for websites is an interesting play. I think it's an interesting space because if it does work, we're gonna have unstoppable internet, right? Like this is something that's very interesting because you can't actually stop that domain from people from accessing that, and this is going to be even more important when something like what is the Elon Musk project, Starlink, deploys, right? So once Starlink is up and someone has satellite internet and they can link up to Starlink, and I've seen the video, right? Linus Tech Tips already has a review on the satellite internet. That's going to mean that people with censored internet can access the entire internet, right? And that's going to be powerful. That means the internet will be unstoppable. It's a time when technology really does kind of change how governments work, because some governments censor conversations, right? And you don't, and there's quite a few places that do that. So I feel like this is where it could come into play. But yet again, it's a very early play as well. It's one of those things that's not certain. I bought a few domain names as well, but I'm not like, it's. I think some people overshill it. I feel like it's got a certain amount of value if you believe in it, but definitely understand that there's also risks associated with this as well. We got Jacqueline Yeo. Thank you so much for your $20 donation. She says, "Hi Michael, what's your thoughts on BTC? Will it drop more than 53K? Since some say 44K is rock bottom, or we will hit 60K before 44K might happen. Really would be grateful if you can share some thoughts. Thank you." That's a really good question, Jacqueline. So here's the interesting part, right? So the way I drew where my supports and resistances are. So Bitcoin is moving up, and you can see that the support is also moving up. So if we broke here, yes, we could try to hit some lower levels. So yet again, you say 46K, that's possibility, which is kind of the first dip that came after here. But it could also dip to like $40,000. I think that would probably be, I would probably say that's the next stop, honestly, like not 44K, but around 40K. That will probably be the next stop if it really does. If the market really does tank really heavily, it could be 40K. But even beyond that, if there's a massive liquidation event that does occur, right, it could hit to 31K. That's a possibility as well. We are very much, I mean, if you zoom out like this, right, we're in a super parabolic phase right now. It goes without saying, right? So this is really hard to predict, and this is one of the reasons why I don't actually trade aggressively the Bitcoin market. I know some people do trade aggressively the Bitcoin market. They take on leverage trades, and they'll be like, oh, they'll have certain buy and sell conditions, and congrats to them. For me, my general strategy is kind of knowing where the support and the resistance is, and when the next breakout is going to occur on either side. So I really feel like this kind of support is really strong at this current point, that we did reject the bears trying to go and take the market down. I definitely feel that was a very strong rejection by the bulls there. But yet again, this market is highly volatile. It could mean that tomorrow we can go down. And the way I prepared myself, right, I definitely have survived. And this is people who have survived through the 2017 dumps, right? The 2018 dumps, and even a lot before that. I don't really intend to sell my Bitcoin. Like, I don't have leverage trades on Bitcoin. Like, I do have leverage trades on some other coins. Like, for example, if I'm farming something and take, for example, Bao, right? A lot of people are talking about Bao, and I'm farming Bao, but sometimes I'll take a position where I can short a little bit of Bao, the amount that I'm going to earn. And I know I'm going to earn this certain amount because I'm farming it. And if I short it, that means I can lock in my gains, right? So this is like a strategic call rather than a trading, like a pure trading play. And there are reasons for that. Like for sure, I know I'm a better investor, like a better. I definitely try to get into early stage projects sometimes. Try to really find a CEO before, like, talk to people before they even manage to raise good money, right? Very very. That's what I'm trying to look for at this stage, right? Very very like strong personalities that have good ideas, but they don't have the capital. That's the part of venture where you try to bring the projects to fruition, right? That's where I'm very good at. Like, identify that this is definitely a stronger suit for myself, and I've been preparing myself to be a kind of a dick in that scenario where I can really quickly identify if this is someone I want to spend my time with. Um, that's kind of my strategy, right? For some people, obviously, they like to trade, they're day traders, and they aggressively trade the market. And it could work very well both ways, both up and down. Like, this is how crypto moves. And I've definitely seen people, they can post these large gains of like $50,000 or $100,000 or $1 million. And sometimes they do well. But if you follow them, sometimes they don't do well, which is really risky, right? I've seen that happen in 2017 too. There are crypto traders on YouTube and Twitter that say, "Oh, look, I've got $10,000. I'm gonna take this to $1 million, and I'll show you how." And then they have like a weekly episode on how to do this, right? And they'll try to like time everything. Oh my God, Bitcoin is gonna go up to this before going down, before doing that. Like, those things work for like about 6 weeks, and then you can see that they slowly, gradually stop posting videos until they just completely stop, and that's when they get liquidated. Like, just follow a lot of people. It does happen a lot. So, I'll be honest here that for me, finding the right projects that I feel like works, like more about finding fundamentals and then a good entry point during when it's not parabolic, that has been the winning strategy for me. Right? It doesn't work for everyone else, but it does work for me. Like, take, for example, ZKSwap was a really great example where they just blew up, right? ZKS, this was a situation where, like, I knew what they were doing. I didn't manage to buy into the pre-sale or whatnot. This was not a late stage project, but when they launched, they didn't really launch at a super crazy price. And this is when I've realized, okay, look, this is an opportunity to play, right? They have a great product. A lot of people don't know about it. They don't know how to use it. Like, I was like, you know what? I hope you guys make the video. I think you guys are doing well. I talked to people and I was like, you know what? I'll just buy on market, right? A market bought, and then boom, it just like skyrocketed, right? This thing took me literally, I didn't get in at like 29 cents. I wish I did, but I roughly entered around 50 cents. That's kind of my memory for it. And then the craziest part was at $2, they airdropped a 1-to-1 airdrop. So it's like, they airdrop 1-to-1. The price didn't go down as much. Sorry, I should be showing you the chart here. But the price didn't jump so much again and just took off again. I was like, holy crap, like, how is this even? Anyways. Yeah. So Black Film Girl says, great call in ZKSwap. I got 2,000 of them at 80 cents. Congrats to you, sir. I mean, now it's at $9. Yeah, that's great. Congrats, man. Congrats. That's ridiculous, right? So yeah, so I have a lot of ZK drop, and then there's a ZK swap airdrop coming on the 25th as well. This is why the price is super high. So they're gonna take another snapshot on the 25th, and then airdrop this directly to holders of ZKSwap, and they're going to bypass the original investors too, which is great, right? That means the original investors, they're not going to get that because they probably got the coins at cheaper. I actually don't know what the original investors got it at, but I think they probably made a killing by now too, right? But yeah, they're going to snapshot the holders of ZKSwap to get a 1-to-1 airdrop. So they're doing it again. Yeah, it's crazy. So that was fun. So yeah, to answer that question fully, like I don't aggressively trade. Like I'm not a leverage trader on Bitcoin. I don't think that was, that's still, I'm gonna leave room for that. That might be my forte in the future, but I have certain other fortes that I think are very valuable. So I'm gonna pursue those. I feel that's more important. But for my Bitcoin and Ethereum, I always have a very solid amount. So that amount hasn't actually changed since this entire market. So I still have the same number of Bitcoins. I still have the same number of Ethereum in my HODL, right? My HODL has pretty much been untouched for this entire run ever since like I kind of finished buying out around like from like about May of 2020, where I kind of finished that dollar cost average acquisition phase, and then I just left it there. Right, I was gonna take some profits out. Like I have a trading account. I try to trade a little bit, but I kind of realized that after Chinese New Year, like I said, like I felt like the FUD was over, so I just entered. So if you kind of put it in perspective as well, I'm still on, like, even after entering during Chinese New Year, I'm still up, right? The market hasn't gone down that much. Remember when times were like, we'll be wishing for 40,000. We're at right 53 right now. So I feel like this dip probably doesn't phase that many people. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of a long-winded way to answer your question. Sony Tab says, if you don't smash up the like tomorrow, you're gonna get wrecked by a 50% drop. More, man. 90, man. 90% drop if you don't smash up the like button right now. Right freaking now, man. Get it. Randy P says, coin that are green right now should raise a red flag. What's green right now? Let's check. Let's check what's green right now. Got Pundy's green. Hollow's green. IOST's green. Bitcoin Gold. Wait, let me just refresh this for a second here. Crypto.com is green. Holy crap. That Crypto.com thing. Still some blood between me and Crypto.com, but KuCoin's greens, yeah, same green coins, same coins that dumped. Kind of funny times. Guillermo Flores says top coins to buy. Sorry that let me just check. So off the top of my mind, let me just take a look here. Like I haven't actually bought today, so just to be honest, the only thing I played was that farming thing that I did. So I kind of finished lunch, took a look at the farming things. But if I was to buy, let me check out what price Woo network is. Like this has been something that I've been looking at recently. I did a live stream call shout out because I felt Woo was very, very undervalued, and that was not bad, right? We took that, like, yeah, when I entered, it was around 60 cents, not 66, 6 cents, 0.60. So 6 cents. So now it's at 20. So maybe that's not the best. It's still on the uptrend. If you're waiting for a dip, it hasn't dipped. Let's see, Rari, RGT token. RGT might be a good, interesting position to enter, to be honest. None of this is financial advice. You guys just asked a question. This is what I'm actively looking at. Yeah, so RGT is down 12%, so that's not too bad. And with the rise of Fuse coming along, so my entry point for this was $4.5. I was looking to acquire more. Like I feel like recently they've been showing a little bit of strength, so that's actually not a bad idea. The other one I think I was considering entering was Solana. Let me see how big the dip is today. I thought it dipped below $10 today. It did dip below $10, but it's back up now. I'm trying to take up a longer position in Solana. I know, like, okay, so this is the thing with the whole, like, FTX and Serum situation. So I'm investor in Serum. So I'm a very long-term investor in Serum. And I've been talking a lot to Sam about Solana, right? So like he really loves Solana, right? And I didn't see why at the start. With ETH layer 2 coming out, with Polkadot coming out, I was kind of figuring out like what's the room for Solana, right? But there is some certain situations where you really want the scaling to be done on level 1 instead of level 2. So this is a situation where I definitely feel like it could be an entry point if the Solana is at a good price, but maybe we'll have to see. We'll have to see on that. We'll have to see. Like I have to kind of see. Like for me personally, I try. Like typically speaking, I don't really buy it at the top. Like if it's really rallying, I typically either choose a dollar cost average or not, something like that. But yeah, my 2 cents. Maybe DODO is a good option. I mean, they had a recent push, but now it's like on a discount. So interesting. Very much you can see my logic process here. How about TrustSwap? Asked Zheng Rong Tang. So TrustSwap is an interesting one too. TrustSwap is a situation where I feel like right now you have to wait a little bit, like have a little bit of patience. TrustSwap had a huge rally in the past 14 days, to my memory. Yeah. So I was hodling this for a long time, and this is when it's like, oh my god, wait, what's happening here? So I would probably wait a little bit. So even as a huge TrustSwap bag holder, I know they're doing a lot of stuff, but I'll wait for the market to calm down a little bit. Like right now it's $3. It's insane. I mean, the stuff that they're doing is insane, right? Like yet again, it's like decide your amount of exposure that you want, but just definitely be very careful. Like I have TrustSwap. I haven't sold. I want my exposure to be the way it is on that trust front as well. So yeah, I hope you answer that question. It's quite high. I mean, you probably wouldn't get a $1 again. That's going to be quite hard. Who knows? I mean, obviously, not financial advice, but waiting for a little dip, maybe like 250. I don't know. Like kind of see if it like for me, I will try to see if I can hit some of that kind of support here, right? Nearing the support at $2.50 maybe. But we'll have to see. They're also doing a lot of good stuff recently, so like hard. People realize that TrustSwap is better than Pulse. Absolutely. Well, there's a lot of launch pads for different projects, and TrustSwap definitely has a few like good cards on its hands. Being an advisor for TrustSwap, obviously I can be biased towards there. I hope both TrustSwap and Pulse though. So I guess if that helps your logic, anything here. Andrew L says feeling an algo, and we got Jacob Shapiro says algo only goes up. And David Cooley says, Andrew, stop asking about your question 100 times. He'll ban you, dude. So I think there's a lot of people asking about various coins, right? Algo is another one that did super well. It's like the thoughts about Algo. I'll tell you the thoughts about Algo, and this is why conviction really matters, right? So Algo is a coin that I did go in, and Algo was not a good ride, right? Like I managed to acquire Algo at around 60 cents, right? And around less than 60 cents. It really dumped to, I think, 30 cents at some point in time. It was not it had a rocky launch, and it's one of those professor coins that had a lot of hype, right, during the initial 2017-2018 run, because it's built by Sylvio Macaulay, right? Sylvio Macaulay is a Turing Award winner, and he made a lot of the privacy stuff early on, right? So this is a situation where he's super smart, and they ran it very corporate, right? For the last 3 years, they ran it very corporate because they're American, and they're kind of tied down in terms of what they can and cannot do. But they are very legitimate too, in terms of from the architectural design, from the speed of their blockchain, from everything that's going on. So this is a situation where finally they're getting some recognition. So recently, they got pushed all the way up to around $1.70, and now they so a rally from 50 cents to $1.70, and then now it's dipping a little bit. So this is actually a very interesting time. If you're actually looking for dips, now would be the time. So so this is a situation where I would say yes, conviction really mattered for Algo. Like I managed to hold Algo until now, and that paid off very well. But was it an easy hodl? No, it wasn't, because it didn't get traction for a long time, and it still hasn't really had that Binance Smart Chain moment yet. So this is where, yet again, Algo could be a good play. Like it has a war chest. I know they're not as heavy in the show section, but if people build for it, which is a big criteria as well, if they build for it, Algo could be very cool. Algo could be very cool. Angela posted our Algo explain video, so check that out, guys, if you haven't. I should definitely do more explain videos coming soon. That's definitely in the pipeline. But yet again, it's a lot of work. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Algo, this is the next. It's actually really good. Like Algo, this was done in my old studio. You can actually see that. Yeah, that was a small space. But anyways, yeah, the way they solved it is very, very smart. Like it's super smart. So anyways, um, Jim M says, "Hey, thoughts on Lightning Dex and StakeNet? Are you interested slash invested?" So I heard a lot about them, but I haven't entered. So hope that answers your question. We got Purple Ripple says Goose DeFi had their Hackanak audit, and it will move soon after this dip is over right away. Okay, so here's my take on mining coins, right? So I'm both in Goose and Viking Swap, and recently testing out a few more as well. So Goose had their contracts audited by Hacken, so that's super cool, right? So Hacken actually did a full report, and they did analysis, and they found that the code is good. So I'm actually really glad that the code is good on Goose. And for me, the way I do it is I like to farm more than I like to like buy and speculate coins. The way these farms work is that you get coins for free if you stake certain coins down. So for Golden Goose, it would be Goose DeFi Golden. If I can type correctly, not it's Goose DeFi, not Golden Goose. Always get my names confused. But so what happens here is that if you deposit in the nest, say you have your wrap Bitcoin or your wrap USD, you get around 300% APY. Like these numbers blow my mind, right? Like some people would say this is low right now for crypto because people are so used to high rewards. But honestly, like 351% on your USDT is insane, right? That being said, there is a 4% deposit fee. So how long would that take? Well, if it's 300 and divided by 365, you get around 1% of your money per day in Goose Coin. So it'll take around 4 days for you to recover your kind of initial deposit. But of course, that's subjected to Goose Coin staying the same price. So typically speaking, I'm a stronger farmer than I am a speculator on coins. Like sometimes I speculate, sometimes I don't. But if you farm and the contract holds, right? If the contract doesn't get hacked, then you'll always be a winner, right? Like for me, I would take the path where I'm almost always a winner rather than speculating on the underlying asset, if that makes sense. I sometimes do, like sometimes I do have a full degen side. Like I do admit to that. I don't want to lie to you guys on this channel. I believe you guys are responsible enough to handle such information. So sometimes I do speculate some coins are going to go up. But if you do, then in that case, why not just farm in the Goose LP pool, right? You get 1,000% APY on that. And if you're an even bigger speculator, then yeah, sure, Viking has farms that offer 6,000%. Before this was actually 30,000%, so that was even more insane. But anyways, like those are some insane APYs. And but yeah, typically speaking, like for me, last farming cycle, there was a lot of farms. So we're seeing kind of like a return of that right now. Good and bad, like it's great for a farmer because now yields are higher. I mean, during the winter, like during December and January, when there weren't so many yield farms, like a stable coin farm would give you like a 20% yield, and you'll think that's great, right? Like you'll think, oh my god, 20%, holy shit, let's go in. Now we're back to 300%, so good for us, right? Free coins, why not? um um where Nam answers Nam says, how do you know it's not a scam? A lot of things you don't even know if it's. This is the problem with being a DJ in this space. Like a lot of times you don't know. That's even worse, right? So yet again, I don't know how much risk tolerance you guys have. So everyone needs to have a little bit of risk tolerance. Well, everyone needs to understand your own risk tolerance. Yet again, not financial advice, yada yada yada. All right, so I'm answering. So for the rest of the episode, I'm gonna answer a few Q&A questions, and I'm gonna wrap the episode up. This was really meant to be a chill out session, so not meant to be too meant to be too aggressive. We got Charles Yang coming in saying box farm 1 million APY. Welcome to Charles to this channel. Glad you're up so late with us. Box is with us during the damp. Damp is coming, guys. Be prepared. Yeah, pump gods and the dump gods. They are fighting it out today. All right, so I tried donut, not a winner. Says beer. No, donut was not very good. It died within a week. Luckily, Vikings holding up very strong. Goose is still holding very strong. So yeah, I guess there's a certain degree of luck to that. Like you have to find how strong their teams are. But yet again, yeah, these both projects are holding up pretty strong. In my books. Although I do kind of regret, so I shared Viking with you guys early on. You guys are apes, okay? Because I shared this morning, and it was like at 13 million total value locked. And now there's like 41 million. So guys, leave some for the rest of us, all right? You whales out there, like... there's risks, okay? There's risks, all right? So leave a little bit of APY for the rest of us, because, yeah, like, don't go too crazy. Don't go too crazy. Like, 40 million? Come on. I mean, Goose has like 120 now. Holy crap. Like, leave a little bit of farming for the rest of us. Leave a little bit of farming for the rest of us, please. Please, please, please. So, yeah. Crypto M says, my question about stake of the hold coins for long term. Is it risk any better than keep it in your hardware wallet or a question mark? So that's a good question. I guess I interpret it this way, right? So if you have cryptocurrency, where should you hold it? And I hold it in multiple places. Like for my HODL, I almost never touch it. I know it's not efficient. Like I've also moved a portion of my HODL into a farm. So that's kind of where the farm like category box comes in, right? It came from the HODL and I moved it there. Some people believe, like the adamant people who believe in Bitcoin, they only hold it in the wallet because they know there's risks holding it elsewhere, right? Some people don't even trust wrapped Bitcoin or Bitcoin on a Binance Smart Chain. They don't trust it. But at the same time, if you're having like 300% or 400% APY, at what point do you go and take some risks, right? Like, does the reward justify the risk? And that's a question for yourself to answer. Like for me, I've obviously moved a lot of funds into decentralized finance because there are rewards here, and the rewards are relatively huge, right? If you think about it, a 300% APY means that after like 4 months, you're going to get 100%. You're going to double up if the rate holds. Obviously, it's not going to hold, right? This is why all these numbers are super defective, right? Like, it's not a permanent APY. It's a spot APY for this hour, but it can drastically go down. That's what we see a lot of happening, right? So yet again, it's like, where do you hold it? Like, it really depends. I mean, I've had some video requests for like, how do you hold $1 billion in cold storage? And that's actually could be possible. Like I know a billionaire friend that help people set up their wallets for this. So if you're interested in that, tell me. Oh, by the way, Charles, thank you so much for your $788 donation. Crazy, Charles, you whale. You whale. Obviously, you're doing well in this space. Thank you, whale. Thank you, whale. Mickey Hable says, Genesis Block just partnered with HAPI. Did you, as an advisor, have a little thing to do with this? Yes, I did. I definitely did. I definitely linked a few things together. Also, Genesis Block has been always very good with hacking. Yet again, Michael doing his magic, right? But yeah. Charles Dan says, take my money. You can manage it better, Box. We love you. Thank you so much, Charles. handsome Charles. We actually need to do a live stream, by the way. Charles is Genesis Block. He's super, super cool. He is number one. Obviously our number one. And like Charles is one of the people that really inspired me to work hard. Like every time I see Charles, he's like working, right? Like you go find Charles at like 11 p.m. at night, he's working. You find him at like 1 a.m. in the morning, he's working. You find him at like 10 a.m. in the morning, he's working. And he's crazy, man. He's crazy. Like crypto, man, like there are some people who work really hard and get very far, and that's something I want to do. Like yes, like I'm also becoming a workaholic right now. Like it's 1 a.m. over here right now, and I'm like, okay, look, I'm probably gonna crash soon, so I'm not sure even why I'm doing this live stream, but hey, I love talking to you guys. So by the way, Charles, let's see, Charles Yang, thank you for dropping. Oh yeah, there's some Genesis block hoodies too, right? I think if you guys are interested, ask Charles, maybe, or maybe ask John. John is probably the best guy to ask. I think Genesis block is coming with some good swag, like free alpha. If you guys like free t-shirts and stuff, I think I think I'm gonna commit Genesis block to give a few free t-shirts away. Amit Aman says, what are your thoughts on the 1-to-1 ZKSwap airdrop happening soon? So I know about it. Obviously, what's gonna happen, right? So obviously, what's gonna happen is that there's gonna be hype towards that drop, and then after the drop, obviously there could be a mini dip like what we saw. But I'm actually just holding everything for that drop, so I'm one of those people that managed to get it. So Genesis Block is not Genesis Mining. So Genesis Block is an OTC desk in Hong Kong. They provide people like an entry point for people to get into Hong Kong in terms of cryptocurrencies. And Genesis Block Ventures is the venture arm of that. So that's the investment side of that. To explain for you guys here. All right, so Shadow is 60 says, thank you for being live, Michael. I always miss your daily broadcast due to time zone. I'll actually really make an effort to try to stream at different times. I think that's really great. I definitely see some different faces showing up today, and I really appreciate you guys leaving comments. I feel like there's a very different tone, like today's stream versus like now versus the one this morning. I think there's a very different tone. I really appreciate that. Like it's all cool, it's all cool. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for that. A lot of people asking me about Sandbox. I think Yat knows what he's doing. Definitely check out my interview with Yat. He's pretty cool. Yeah, Sue. Yeah. ADM Brown says, safe to buy BTC now to hodl. Look, yet again, it's also another situation. Like, a lot of people ask me these questions, and the worst part is people always ask these questions during a parabolic move like this. Like, obviously, people want to ride the cannon, right? This cannon blowing up into space, right? People want to ride it. Obviously, I'm very optimistic. Obviously, I've entered recently, but it always depends on people's risk exposure, right? Like, obviously, it will be better to buy and accumulate during a bear market, and almost no one asks me that question during a bear market. Right, but we are in a bull market. It could go up. It could catastrophically drop down. Like if you're willing to be prepared for a drop, and you're willing to hodl for a next maybe a super bear cycle, right? Everyone's talking about the super crypto cycle. We're still super early. I definitely, marketing aside, I definitely believe we're still very early, especially this year with some fundamentals popping in. Maybe right now we have the dip because Americans need to take out money for paying their taxes or something, right? I mean, taxes are due end of this month, right? So it's 23rd right now. So that could be the reason why we had the dip right now, and maybe we'll continue afterwards. But there's no guarantees at this point, right? If you really want good entry positions, it would be when everyone is just like thinking Bitcoin is totally dead, right? And we saw a lot of that 2019, 2020. I was like just commenting to everyone like, this really sucks, right? This bear market is just total trash. It just feels like we're down, but also hard, right? DCA. So DCA kind of works during that time. It works, that's fun. Doron says, what's the connecting between Viking and Goose in terms of Goose DeFi and Viking DeFi, or Viking Swap and Goose Finance? Viking takes code from Goose, but I don't think there's a connection there between the two members. In fact, in terms of Goose had like a family of forks that people try to fork their code and make stuff out of. So like Donut is one of them. I think Salt is also one of them. Like there's people who kind of made slight modifications. There was also a few rugs, so just definitely be very, very careful about that, guys. That's crypto for you, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I think I'll definitely say, thank you guys for watching today's video. Pangea asked about ZKSwap airdrop again. Just rewind a little bit. I think we'll get someone to do the titles for it. I think I repeated myself 3 times today on ZKSwap, so I'm gonna stop there. But yeah, just rewind a bit. Just watch this video. I think that's it for today. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching today. It's already 1 a.m. in the morning, so definitely time for me to get some rest. Hope you guys do well. Definitely really happy that you guys are very confident. I definitely saw the confidence in this chat, so I'm really happy. People didn't get freaked out by this like freak fall for Ethereum right there. Bitcoin showing that strong support. We bounced back off here very strongly, so I'm actually very, very happy. So definitely want to thank you guys so much. Definitely thanks Charles so much for your $788 donation. Thank you so much, Charles. And with that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys very soon. Laters, y'all. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the Boxmining ecosystem. First and foremost, if you guys like listening to all that's happening in crypto on the go, then I would highly recommend you checking out the Boxmining Bitcoin Out of the Box podcast. And the reason why it's called Bitcoin Out of the Box is because we have long interview segments very much exploring the detail of the newest and latest of what's going on in this whole cryptocurrency space. Whole idea of it is to bridge that gap between knowledge privileged institutional investors and the rest of us here in this space. Now, with the podcast, it's on everything. So it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify. Just search it anywhere, Bitcoin Out of the Box. So just add that onto a playlist and let's just follow the new episodes when it's released. Next up, we also have the Boxmining newsletter. So this happens roughly bi-weekly. We give you an update of the latest that's going on in a very summarized, condensed format. So this is perfect for anyone that wants an overview of the market. Say, for example, what's happening with OKX, the biggest event, or maybe the little things like what's happening with different coins and overall the trend. So what I use the newsletter for personally myself is to understand what kind of phase we're in crypto, to kind of get in tune. So if you don't read crypto every day, the newsletter is perfect for you. Last but not least, in the link down below, if you're a Telegram user, we have the Boxmining announcements channel. So this is to announce to you basically what's the latest videos coming up, but also we have a daily update, a community-driven daily update to provide you an idea of the latest updates on a day. And a lot of people have been using that to get informed of the crazy amounts of trends that we see. And I have to give a big thank you for Claudio, our community member, for doing this. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely want to give you a shout out there, Claudio, as well for that. And taking us to the end of the live stream, so make sure, number one, you click like and subscribe on this video because it really does help this channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast. It's one of the best ways to know a little bit more, to extend that knowledge, especially in your spare time. And then, of course, check out the newsletter. If you're, if you want those updates and summaries and trends, newsletter is the place for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.